All right, so now we're kind of past the will language and kind of moving back into this thing. Growing the sphere of human activity beyond the earth. Now, if that doesn't just fill you with joy, I don't know why you're watching this channel in the first place, because stuff like that makes me very happy. Provide the enhanced life and commerce for all humanity to enjoy. This document's very Amerocentric. It doesn't talk very much about the rest of the world, so it is nice to see lines like this about humanity to enjoy. I think there's going to be real questions about how you define for all humanity. That's been a line in international circles for nearly 50 years, 45 years or so, and it still hasn't been defined. So I'm curious to see what they do there. And this, I don't actually agree. For one of the few things in this document I don't agree with, it says this expansion will occur over decades. Yes, it has been 60 years since Sputnik was launched in 1957. About 120 days later in 1958, America really entered the space age. So we've been at it for a while. We've been at it for 6 decades already. But I think the curve of this is about to go straight up. So I think a lot of this stuff is going to happen by 2030. That's just so watch this. I think some of these planners are not optimistic enough. The role of government and the private sector is going to evolve. We've talked about that a lot. This line about space activities that require government support and infrastructure today can be market-driven tomorrow. A phrase I'm hearing a lot in the policy circles is buy what we can, build what we must. So really taking federal dollars, incentivizing the private sector to fill a particular niche or hole in the market, and giving Uncle Sam what he needs. So I keep seeing this language over and over and over again. The more it's repeated in this document, the more significance it has. Commercial contracts for goods and services, kind of the same thing. And acknowledging that exploration for the sake of exploration doesn't always have a market driver. But I'm here to tell y'all that the Lewis and Clark expedition from the East Coast through the Columbia River to the edge of Washington, that was a military mission, right? And so there are things that are exploration on the surface, but can lead to market roles later in the future. So I think that the government recognizes that they're going to be a primary player and point in certain directions, and that the commercial sector will kind of backfill and find their opportunities. I keep seeing that language in here a lot, and it's good to see. Space resources, we just talked about that a minute ago with the Department of Interior. The government's going to take actions and support these activities, right? We said that over and over again in this document, so it's really kind of nice to see this. And this is one of those interesting lines in the document. All right, they're acknowledging that the Apollo program was great, right? But that this new era does not end with a single event. That's not throwing shade at the flags and footprints of the Apollo era, but it is an acknowledgement that the minute that we planted that flag, the Cold War era changed, right? From that moment, we got all this propaganda and publicity around the world. I think we earned it. But that was the end. At that point, we switched focusing on the moon and we focused on Vietnam, right? So what they're saying here is acknowledging the things of the past that were good, but that we're not going to end with another flags and footprints. I really hope this is true, right? I'm worried that I don't think we're going to have flags and footprints on the moon. I think the Artemis program is really well crafted and well designed. Once there I disagree with, but in general. I'm about Mars as a flags and footprints program. And this might be the only time you'll ever hear me say this, but I have a lot of confidence in SpaceX's goal of putting a lot of settlers on Mars. So I hope that that is our solution to flags and footprints. We'll see. We'll see. This is going to be a sustainable program. We've talked about sustainability several times before. They reiterate it here. Enduring national interests, be affordable and technically sound. They have said that probably 5 times in this document so far. And then how are we going to do it? We're going to go commercialize low Earth orbit, return to the moon to stay, extending to Mars. And the way we're going to do these things is go to the moon first, learn what we need to learn, and then move on. So 3 big ideas with an overarching methodology. One of our earlier videos talks about the future to 2035. This is how we, LiftPort, think this is going to roll out. If you're curious about what I think the future is going to look, please check one of our other videos. But I feel like a lot of the stuff that we said a few weeks ago, 5-6 weeks ago, has been really reiterated by this federal policy. So that's what we got. This is an ambitious document. Going to the moon to stay is an ambitious goal. So I just want you to ponder that for a second. This stuff is not easy. Kennedy said part of the reason we're going is because it's hard. So it's easy to take for granted the fact that we went there 50 years ago, but we're going in a different way now, and the tools are not the same, and the reasons are not the same. So just ponder that for a second when you got a few minutes. I'd love to have any questions. I appreciate your interest and time on this. Please tell your friends, like, share, and subscribe, like every other YouTube video says. But really, I'm going to ask something a little more specific. If you like watching what we're doing, if you really are curious about the policies that shape American space programs and then maybe has ripple effects to the rest of the world's space programs, if you're the kind of person that likes this stuff, I think it's a safe bet that you know 1 or 2 other people that also like this stuff. I'd like it if you would just share this with them directly. That would be great. Okay, thanks a lot. Appreciate your time and attention. Bye-bye.